So, last we left off, you guys spent some time trying to figure out what you actually wanted to do next. A couple of you were advocating for just ditching the Turning Spire and running away and finding something else to do. A couple of you were advocating for continuing within the tricky magic doors of the Turning Spire itself, to explore and see what further information you could find. You decided to spend the night in the fortress, the pocket fortress, inside of the tower itself, which seemed to work out all right. And upon waking, you ended up removing the various things that afflicted Valkyria, before trying to figure out where you wanted to go next and how you were going to go about it. Thanks to interrogating some corpses, you're able to find out that for most people wishing to navigate the halls without the assistance of one of the archmages themselves, you would need to continually cast dispels in order to move from room to room, and creating something of a window for you to step through to get to the necessary rooms. You found some smut and other reading materials in one room. You're able to find various logbooks discussing the running of an entire city. You're able to find some mushrooms, some plants, but you were eventually able to find this grand library study-like thing with maps of the world, with scrolls, with potions, various jewelries that you guys all acquired in one way or another. And that is where we are picking up. What would you guys like to do now?
Aren't we running low on dispels, if I remember properly?
Running low on spells, period. So if we think we're gonna have a fight in the next room, I'm not gonna be the most useful.
Yeah, I only have one spell slot left.
Well, I thought of something last night that I'd like to apply here. I know that you occasionally have to find maps that are, close enough. So I don't know if there's actually a map in here, but if there is a map in here, is there?
Roll investigation check.
Globe.
Gladly.
I didn't say it's a high DC.
I mean, if it was a high DC, Zoda would be the most likely to succeed because I decided for some reason to jack her investigation.
Nerd.
That's 15.
15? Yeah, there's a large globe in the middle of the room. There's also a map over on this wall that is a map of the continent you are currently on. You're also able to find a smaller map on this desk over here.
Sweet. Zoda's going to check the big map, the small map, and the globe for anything that's marked.
All right, which one are you looking at first?
I'm looking at the big one first.
Okay. Doesn't really seem to be anything marked. There's the various cities that are marked, but it's not like a conspiracy board web.
Worth a check. Next she'll check the small map to see if there's any marks of any kind.
The one over here.
Yeah, the one on the desk.
All right, hold on.
All the way over.
Okay. So as you go to pick up this map, you move and you just barely touch it with your fingers when it leaps up and starts grabbing your face.
She like sort of, yells out muffled like,
You are immediately blinded and deafened.
Everyone else can probably see the face hugger map that's happening over here.
Shall we do something about this?
Yeah, this is why I said not to touch anything. Is so I have a question about a spell.
Mm-hmm.
So Chill Touch creates a ghostly spectral hand in the space of a creature within range. Can I specifically have that hand touch the map and not Zoda? Or is that like a 2-hit roll?
You can have it touch the map.
Okay.
Zoda, you're
It's in the way
suffocating.
of her face.
You're suffocating now at this point.
Oh boy. It's in the way
Yeah.
of her face, so you wouldn't be grabbing her.
Um,
I'm going to try that. I didn't roll any of these dice, so okay, that is not bad. That is a 24 to hit.
definitely.
Awesome. And I hopefully if it's an undead creature, it also has disadvantage on its next attack roll.
No, it is not undead. Zoda, you take 10 bludgeoning damage as it constricts your face. You're continuing to suffocate.
That's a nifty 17 points of damage.
Okay.
I mean, she's not just gonna sit there and take it. She's just gonna be trying to fight it off. How would I go about doing that?
Roll an athletics check to try to tear it off.
I will assist.
All right. Wow, I got the exact same number on both dice.
And
That's like the most useless advantage ever. That's a total of 13.
13. All right, you are able to tear the mimic off of your face.
Yeah, she's just like stomping on that thing. Like one stomp, like grinding it on the ground.
It hisses at you, and you can see now that the map features on it are a little bit blurred as a face has appeared on the surface and hisses at you and tries to bite at your foot. But for the purposes of this, why don't you make an unarmed strike attack?
Sure. Remind me what die that is. It's like a D4 or something, right?
Well, that it's a D20 to see if you hit.
Fair.
And then it is 1 plus your strength modifier.
I see.
Since you're not a monk.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. That is a 14 if it's using my strength modifier. I believe it would be.
All right. Yep. So
And that's a
that
total of 3 damage if it hit.
total of 3 damage.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Who else is nearby? I'm not gonna bother rolling for initiative for this, by the way. Just because, you know, it's a mimic. You can handle it pretty easily. Yeah, I mean, I guess it'll try to grab at you pretty easily again. Let's see.
Can I try the Eldritch Blast it?
Hold on, it's going first.
Alright.
All right. So that's a 23 to hit you.
Not even shield can save me from that.
It constricts to your face again, and you take 11 bludgeoning damage. Damir, you can try to Eldritch Blast now if you like.
Well, now it's on Zoda's face again.
Hit the orc. Hit the orc.
I mean, you know, I guess I could, but that would kind of be a dick move. So
There is a map choking her to death. I don't think she would mind. It's up to you, though.
I mean, yeah, sorry, I was considering other options. I mean, yeah, do you want me to fucking Eldritch Blast it? I'll Eldritch Blast it. Yeah, I'll fucking Eldritch Blast it, I guess. I don't think that one hits, but that one was the same roll as before, 24. I assume, well, I don't know, I guess I should ask. Does a 12 hit?
12 does not hit.
Yeah, okay. So one of them hits at least. That's 10 points of damage.
All right, it's looking rough.
I noticed that Valkyria is standing right next to Zoda on the map. Do you have an idea, Lars?
All my shit's too blasty, so I am going to do an athletics check to try to get it off.
All right, roll an athletics check.
Let's see how much the dice hate me today. Oh, not at all. 18. 22.
Definitely hits. Roll damage.
That would be an athletics check.
No,
actually.
athletics
Oh.
check. Because all my
Sorry.
shit is too
Yeah.
blasty.
Okay, yeah, you're able to tear it off, no problem.
And now I have it grappled.
Cool.
All right. Zoda's not taking prisoners. She's going to shocking grasp the mimic map.
All right, roll to hit.
Ooh. That's a 17 plus 8.
You definitely hits.
All right, let me just roll these 3d6s. I think that 2d6s plus 1 addition. Let's just rolling one of them a second time, I guess. 2, 6, and 4, so 12.
12 damage?
Yep.
Yeah, that kills it. It falls apart and slumps to the floor.
Remember what I said about us being very bad at not being killed and getting into fights and not touching anything?
How was I supposed to know that they kept a pet mimic?
Don't
They
touch
are wizards.
anything.
So it's just sort of like, it's like, I'm a wizard and I don't have a pet. I'm like, she just sort of sighs, resigned, and goes to check on the big globe instead.
All right. The big globe is actually pretty interesting. You find that you can actually kind of move it around if you reach out and focus and allow it to examine different parts of the world. For lack of a better descriptor, it's kind of like Google Earth, but you can't really zoom in.
That's fine.
So exactly like Google Earth.
So they're trying to zoom in on the Turning Spire, and it's just all blurry. So I'm guessing there's no like identifying marks or anything on it.
Not really.
Hmm.
If there were any, they've been removed.
Well, that's a shame. Not only did that second map just come alive and attack, they didn't mark anything for us on the two that aren't, you know, secretly monsters.
Tobias, what are you doing? You have this lovely emerald jeweled necklace.
Do I know what it does?
Yes, it is in the
Oh, it's in the look chat.
channel. It is the kiss of the Changebringer.
Ah.
The description you see is what it does if you're not attuned to it.
Okay. Well, he won't attune to it right now because his slots are fucking full, and also in case shit starts going a little haywire, then he could be able to step in. But he will put it on.
Okay. So
He'll
you
kind of
gain,
like have it tucked underneath his shirt.
cool. So you gain that +1 bonus to saving throws, and you're immune to the grappled condition.
Yeah, baby. Tobias movement up in the world. So you said that we're in a giant library and that globe kind of acts like Google Earth. Is there anything else of like, I guess, like notable importance or like anything that looks odd? I guess, I mean, I'm asking, can I do an investigation check to see if there's anything
Yeah,
odd?
I mean, you feel like you've sort of found everything that you can probably find. You found some sketchy ass scrolls that look like they were confiscated. You found a bunch of jewelry that I think Demir intends to sell. You found an emerald dagger, and Valk found some potions that look like healing potions, but look a little weird.
Okay. Yeah, if it seems like that everything has kind of like been found in the room, Tobias is going to step back, let the more magically inclined people look at stuff because they'll have a better idea of what they're actually looking at than he does. And he's also absolutely not going to touch a goddamn thing. He's learning.
All right. And how about you, Lish? You found that lovely lantern.
Wish
Yeah,
is touching everything.
he picked up a lantern. It didn't need his face, so that's a win. I mean, he watches the mimic attack from a distance, like, wizards. I guess I'll go over to the globe too and kind of see what all it can do some more.
All right.
Kind of sets the lantern down and, I don't know, scopes out
Couldn't
some
we
of the
use the
different
lantern?
areas.
Oh, sorry. Couldn't we use the lantern in here?
Remind myself exactly what the lantern does. Let's see.
It reveals hidden things.
Right. In a 5-foot radius for 1 minute, power walk around this giant room.
Well, we could at least like check the globe to see if they have hidden marks with the lamp.
Quick question. What's that lantern called?
The
The
revealing light.
Interesting. Tobias has had a lantern of revealing for fucking ever. So now we have two.
We can make a cool car headlight system.
You could search for hidden things twice as efficiently.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we can like wave it over the map, like a quarter of a quarter of a quarter of the map.
So it doesn't reveal anything, but there is some inclination that the map of the world that you see, the globe, is the zoomed in version.
Can it be zoomed out? Can we get a bigger scale?
Roll an Arcana check.
If we can get a perspective of like other planes, that'd be nice. 22.
22. So you're able to do some poking around with the globe. You're doing that thing where you spin it like really fast. see what you can do. But as you do this, it starts to project the constellations into the space around you. You can stop there or you can keep going.
Do I get a sense of what it'll blow even farther out to? He'll keep going, just kind of see what happens.
So you keep going and it projects a model of the extraplanar system, so to speak. I believe I've described this before, but just as a refresher, how this works is that in the very center, the core is the material plane. And then layered on top of that is the Feywild, layered below is the Shadowfell. And these things make up the very center. In sort of a Venn diagram-esque thing, we then move on to the elemental planes, meaning that the material plane, the Feywild, and the Shadowfell, where they all overlap, that's where all 4 elemental planes overlap. But then there's the elemental plane of air, earth, fire, and water surrounding that, and some overlap between those planes. So for example, the overlap between the plane of air and the plane of water is the Frostfell. And then there's something of a shimmering barrier. And beyond the elemental planes, there's the upper planes, such as, where the celestials inhabit, and then there are the lower planes where the fiends inhabit. So this is just a model that is being projected above the globe.
She'll kind of spin it a little, kind of see certain
I
areas.
cannot
Where,
hear you, Kenzie.
can you hear me?
There we go.
She'll just kind of spin it a little and see just kind of certain areas of different planes to just kind of curiously zoom in on. Like,
Yeah, I
what's
was
the
gonna
detail?
say, could the map zoom in on the Feywild?
It doesn't get too detailed. You get the impression that this map was something of a work in progress for the Archmages. If you try to zoom in on the Feywild, you don't get too detailed, but you're able to see something of like a vague impression of forests.
On a lark, out of curiosity, looking through the books in the bookshelf, can I see anything that's like planar travel related or Feywild related or anything like that?
Roll an investigation check for me.
All right. I got clicking on all the wrong windows, apparently. Investigation. I'm not gonna roll that dice. You fucked me over last time. Ooh, that is a 27.
So
Or I'm sorry, 25.
sweet. So you are able to sort of get a feel for the system of organization that the Archmages employed a bit last time. You know that they tended to organize them via the schools of magic, first of all, before narrowing down into specifics. And you're able to, based on that, find a section where logically there should be the information on planes and planar travel. However, it seems that these books have been purposefully removed.
Great. I wonder if ibuprofen took these out.
Certainly seems like somebody's been through here.
Do you think it's the Archmages or someone else?
Well, after he killed his friends, nothing stopped him from coming through and getting rid of things.
That seems the most likely. Or you guys said you were in a time loop. What if a past you took something from here?
Of course we did.
It's not a loop, it's a cake.
Either or.
We don't know what is going on.
With
Like
the
I said,
cake.
for all we know, our bodies are in here.
Well, we haven't found those yet.
We could always ask the other Archmage for information. However, that would then put us at 10 days before we can ask any other questions of either of them.
I don't care that much. I'm gonna look at this table and see if I can figure out how it works. If there's a way to either like remove it or disable it. If there's like any kind of machinery, if it's all Arcana.
Roll an Arcana check.
$24.
24. This seems to be solely arcane in base. It would be kind of a pain in the ass to try to remove it.
Is it as like big as a table? Like it seems to be.
I mean, it's as
Oh.
big as it is on the map.
Yeah.
Like 50 feet across.
This is quite a powerful object for just anybody to stumble across.
Well, it's also built into a table, so
Perhaps
Certainly seems-
Valkyria could destroy it for us.
why would you destroy it?
Well, it would be a pain to maneuver. Couldn't we do it at a later date when we're not in a rush?
Are
And
we
as
in a
you-
rush?
Well, end of world encroaching, yada yada.
And we can't take the time to destroy a table.
Well, I mean, can't take the time to move the table now. Wouldn't we want to, if we can make it back, reclaim such a device for our own use?
And to move it how? We are halfway across the continent from the manor. And there's no way to take the magic and transfer it. And I do not feel like it is right for just anybody with an arcanic spark to come in and be able to see the world, the heavens, and what lies beyond at their leisure.
Well, okay, Val kind of taps on the table to get a sense of the construction.
How dare you take a bite of food?
Hey, I need breakfast sometimes. I mean, what are you trying to discern about its nature?
The mundane aspects, wood, paper, how is it constructed? Is it stone built into the foundation of the spire? What are we looking at?
The surrounding of it seems to be stone. There are elements that are metal, and other elements that are of a stone-like material that you can't quite discern.
Stone-like material similar to the rocks that I've got a bajillion of in my bag.
So Valk's just kind of rubbing the table, looking at it, trying to figure out its construction, and is just like, I don't know if I have anything blasty enough for this at the moment.
So you all think that we should just leave it here?
Well, where are we going to take our rest? Are we going to take it back into the main room or in here?
Well, we do not know what lies beyond these doors. Gestures to the ones up.
I'm still curious why you think it needs to be destroyed.
These ones by where Stick is standing or where you came from, these are the ones you have yet to investigate.
Those are the ones he gestures towards, is the ones up. I have made it quite clear as to why I think it should be destroyed. As I said, I don't think anyone who just walks in here should be able to have maps of continent heavens and beyond.
Who
That's a power
exactly
that
is
could
going to be
be
walking
so
in
easily.
here?
Two things just happened. You gotta pick one.
Kenzie first.
Tobias will say, it is a power that could be too easily abused.
Precisely.
By who? Who else is going to make the trek out here?
It makes it a lot easier now that the big guard dogs at the door are dead.
And yet the entire inside of this place seems relatively untouched. Aside from what
Because
we've
of
done, at
the
least.
creatures guarding it up until this point.
You don't think you would have seen a pile of bodies if that was a problem?
If it left bodies behind,
The entire place is pretty abandoned and undisturbed. Just a map. It's not like there aren't others.
We have to consider that perhaps people have not come for it yet due to the time discrepancies going on and just the nature of what is happening to this tower. However, it is also important to consider that after we, or if we do find out what is going on, and if we manage to stop it, if that leaves the tower open for less than savory folks to make their way inside.
Might as well burn the whole library down at that point.
maybe we should. Damir's certainly taken her fair share of books. What else is left?
I'm not one for the destruction of knowledge. It's more so, it's hard to see a purpose for this table beyond using it to observe other people or to gather information to have advantages over people.
Zoda sort of like pointedly gestures for the globe to zoom in on the town.
As
Yeah,
I
I was
said,
very-
it does not zoom in onto towns.
Exactly.
Just a map of continents.
You can't exactly do espionage with this. It's more of
Not
Care
yet.
about espionage. You can see the cosmos with this. You can see the
Surprised you think we-
planes with this.
I'm surprised you don't think if there's other means to do so already.
This certainly makes it easier.
I've seen maps like this in books. Can't even see anything. It's just a fancy illusion. I don't think it's worth the effort, but we can destroy it, I suppose.
Or we could dump paint on it so it's just not visible.
It projects up, doesn't it? It's not just flat. Perhaps we should see what is in the next room and then make our decision.
Are we?
Have we not checked the big map yet?
There's nothing on it.
No, the one on the wall.
Yeah, Zoda
Yeah,
checked it. There's nothing
that
on
was,
it.
that was the
Okay.
first map that was looked at. It's just a map of the continent you're on.
It ate Zoda.
No, that was the second map.
Are we strong enough in the right sorts to go into another room?
How is everybody feeling?
Well, I've
I
been
only
slightly
have-
munched. I'm fine.
I only have the one spell slot left. Slot to pick that.
I have 6 spells left.
5 and only of lower levels.
It is not ideal.
We can spend another night.
Which, like,
And we have to still find the laboratories.
Found a good deal of what what the hospitable told us about. There could be more, but
You can say specific rooms.
Well, we're still hoping to find. God damn it, Brent, the deplorable dudes lab. The infinite. There we go.
indefinite, right?
Indefinite.
Yeah.
Indefinite, deplorable, close enough.
I think we need to be thorough, and I think we need fully prepared spellcasters to do so.
if we
It'd be
rest
useful
here,
for-
I will also get the spells back. So when we go back to the main room, I will have more energy to use.
Also, who knows if the door at the end requires a dispel to use as well.
And who knows if it's not trapped to high heaven.
Would you like to investigate that for us, Aaron? Oh, master of bear traps.
Sure, Aaron will go investigate the door.
So it'll help them out.
Roll an
Uh,
investigation check with advantage then.
She's going to use her own investigation, actually.
Okay. So just a straight roll then.
Alrighty. Ooh. 6.
Aaron, this is a door. Fucked up.
Oh yeah.
Math. 31.
Does not seem to be trapped, but it does seem to have the runes and same magical aura that the other doors did.
Well, it's sort of like pointed out, like, well, it's not trapped, but it seems to have the same barrier to entry as every other door in here. So maybe resting would be wise.
Especially if, we're still looking at a lab, maybe 3 labs, 1 to 3 offices.
Better to be safe
Okay.
than sorry.
We did find one office at least, so
Yep.
1 to 2 office, none to 2 offices.
So the real question is, do we want to post up in here or return to the main room?
This seems safe enough. Though we will need a dispel to get back.
And then we would need to use a dispel to get back to this room tomorrow as well.
Quite. So we might
This
as well
place
stay
up-
here.
This room also only has 2 entrances to worry about, so
As opposed to
Um,
the multitudes of the main room.
about 9, maybe 10, yeah.
and it's more comfortable in here.
And we could
True.
also read some of the books over the evening, see if we can't glean some more information.
even if it's not
Yes.
relevant stuff, I'm sure they have interesting stuff here anyway.
I'm still crossing my fingers that maybe they've got a spare dispel written down somewhere.
Does seem unwieldy that they'd be casting it every time they walk through a door.
It might be
Who
keyed
knows?
to
Maybe they
them.
did.
What if you have to get up and then go use the bathroom? Like, are you just going to be casting dispels all on your way back?
Aaron raising the real issues.
I imagine they have a necklace or charm or some sort of enchantment that makes navigating their own home possible. Fancy bitches have that sort of shit.
I'm gonna
Hmm.
run to the restroom real quick. You guys keep talking.
Topical.
Topical.
Make
Well,
sure to
maybe-
cast the spell on your way.
Yep, gotta cast dispel magic to dispel a shit.
Out of character though, I just had a terrible, wonderful idea of Lish summoning the fortress right on top of the table.
He
Oh
really
my
wants that
God.
thing gone.
Also out of character, like one of my D&D group chats like has an emoji for when you're pooping. And like throughout the day I'll just get like pooping emojis like from the various people. It's like 1-800 are you pooping?
1-800 shit for now.
1-800 are you pooping? I mean, honestly, dropping the fortress on the table would probably destroy it. It's like what one like
It's like a 20 by 20, like who God knows how tall thing, made
how
like
much
entirely
force
of metal,
damage
right?
does it do if you open it on top of someone? It's like 10d10 or something like
Something
that,
like
right?
that.
It's a decent number if I
Close.
remember properly.
Each creature in the area where the fortress appears must make a DC 15 dexterity saving throw, taking 10d10 bludgeoning damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one.
Yeah, I'm just saying 10d10
It's not a creature,
damage.
but it can't go anywhere. So
Go fortress bomb.
That's
That
one
also-
way to destroy a table.
is anybody
also might damage
so
the fortress
attached
itself,
to the
though.
table? What's that?
Well,
Zoda's not attached to it.
That
She's
also
just
could damage the
confused
fortress
why
itself, though.
Zoda,
Well-
for the record, Zoda's not attached. She's just confused why Lish wants to destroy Google Earth.
The tower is made of adamantine, and its magic prevents it from being tipped over.
That's fair.
The roof, the door, and the walls each have 100 hit points, immunity to damage from non-magical weapons.
But
Well-
it does take a wish to repair any damage that does
We're
get
not
done.
really gonna use this thing for combat anytime soon, are we? Probably not.
well, we
Yeah, I
could
don't think
fly
so.
over someone and drop it on them.
I feel like it would be useful for the Feywild, you know, where we are staging an assault.
But
That's
we're
a good
not
point.
doing all-out general warfare in the Feywild. We would
Aren't
be,
we?
we would well, not anymore. Not after the dreaming. I don't know. Are people really that emotionally attached to this table? Do people care?
Again, Zoda doesn't care. She's
Table
just
is my favorite
confused.
character.
That's my emotional support table. Like, you can't destroy it.
You can't kill a character so soon after their introduction.
Look, you guys either get the brain dog or you get the table. You can't have both.
What do you have against Frank? Come on.
Everything. Why don't you have anything against him?
All Frank ever did was show us the planes. Come on.
Well, okay, so are we?
What's the plan,
resting?
you guys?
We got half
Resting
a
or pushing
plan. We got
forward?
sidetracked on using dispel magic to go take a shit.
Right.
I think it would be smart to just rest in this room so we don't have to use a D-spell to get back.
Yeah.
And then also just making sure everyone is like full up on all their slots and things. So that way when we proceed forward, we're not going to be in a bad position.
Agreed.
I
Well,
don't get the
there-
feeling that this will take us to the laboratory, but it will at least potentially take us somewhere interesting. So
Could be more
While
books.
we're in the room, I was able to get like a sense of the organizational system of this library. Is there anything on pact magic?
Yeah, there's a section on pact magic.
I'm going to just start grabbing some books, just taking them.
Okay. I will add that to the list of books I intend to send out later.
Cool.
DM, it just dawned on me. The subjects in the library and stuff, there's like a wide variety, correct?
Yeah, there's it's mostly organized by school of magic,
Oh, okay.
but there is a wide variety.
Oh, okay. So there wouldn't be any on like creatures or whatever.
Roll investigation check.
Cool. That's an 18.
I mean, there's not really stuff on creatures. There's what books there are more focused on pieces of creatures for alchemical purposes.
Okay, so books about creature parts. Tobias might take a couple of those just
Okay.
for potential future use or whatever. Never know when
Cool.
it could be handy.
So I
Question.
guess we'll settle in for a rest. Yeah.
The ladder is just to access the higher parts of the map. It's not like an access to something behind the eagle and horsey.
Yeah, that's just for the sake of accessing the map.
No loft. Got it.
No. Anyone else?
As they kind of settle in for rest, Lisha's gonna activate the map again, and he's gonna pull out his own continent map and notebook, and he's just gonna kind of make as many notes and recreations of these maps as he can.
Okay. I mean, it looks the same. There's no like dramatic continent is missing or anything like that.
No Atlantis.
For
Yeah.
the planes and the constellations.
Cool.
He's gonna just do a very thorough examination.
Zuna's gonna comb over the shelves and eventually come to the same gap that Demir found for planar travel. I would only assume that she does anyway. And sort of just sigh to herself. She's gonna just keep browsing, I suppose.
All right.
When Lish gets to the demi-plane or the planes of good and law and whatnot, Valk's gonna be like, that's where my dad works.
We love her.
Wow, Valk, what else does he do for work?
Give cryptic messages.
My dad's CEO of heaven.
No, not CEO. He's a messenger. So he's the mailman of heaven.
Like he's
Heaven's
working
totally
his
great.
way up the
Heaven's-
ladder from the mailroom up.
Heaven's totally great, you guys. I would know. My dad works there.
Oh God.
Eowyn's gonna ask Demir if she knows where they'd have books on quote unquote mind control.
Well, that would be under charm, probably.
Be closer to the enchantment.
Yeah, I will go in that section and look with Aaron.
Roll an investigation check. This can be either one of you roll with advantage, or you can both make your individual checks.
Aaron, which would you like?
I've just got +1 to investigation, so if you've got anything in it.
Yeah, I got +6, so I will.
All right, I will help you then.
All right. I will try and find mind control books. Oops. Oh boy, that's a 12. I rolled a 6 and a 4.
So you're able to find a book that is describing some of the spells that are used for the sake of mind control. And the way that the book is presented, it's going from weakest to most powerful. And you can spend your evening looking this over if you so choose.
For Aaron. So
Yeah, I think Aaron's gonna just like thank the mirror, of course. And then kind of just like stuck up in a corner, like huddled up with it, like he's reading a horror book under the covers past his bedtime.
Okay.
You know, before Aaron goes off to tuck up under the covers, Demir is going to just kind of, as she's handing him the book, like, are you good?
Aaron's okay. Aaron's going to wink at her and say, just want to be prepared.
You know, you're very cryptic. Sometimes.
Just want to, know what kind of stuff I need to be worried about.
You're hurting yourself on the way. I will hand over the book.
All right. Erin, while you are reading this book, looking it over, you're able to find information on various things that could arguably be forms of mind control. Book starts off talking about the cantrip friends, which is, of course, being cantrip, pretty basic. It makes the person you're talking to seem more approachable, more friendly, at least in theory. However, it only lasts for about a minute, and afterwards, the person that friends was cast upon, they know that the spell was cast upon them. Next one it talks about is charm person, which lasts a lot longer, but it's still somewhat basic. It is difficult to cast in combat against someone who is actively hostile against you. But it the idea is that the charmed person thinks of you as like a friendly acquaintance, so to speak. However, much like with friends, it knows that it was charmed by you afterwards. There's also spells such as command, in which the person it's cast upon or creature is issued a one-word command and must obey it unless it's harmful to them. There's also spells such as compelled duel, hideous laughter, calm emotions arguably could be under mind control. But then there's also spells such as enthrall, suggestion, and it goes on and on, talking about some of the various things that could be used to bend someone to their will, even going up to things such as feeble mind and geese.
He's all right. He's getting notes down about that. And I think right now for this reading though, he's mostly just like tweaking himself out, you know? Like, ooh, there's this. Oh, and this other thing.
It's like me reading this one book of spiders as a kid. Like, oh god, are there like funnel webs in my backyard? Oh shit! Oh god! Oh jeez.
Exactly.
Oh, don't forget about the gliding spiders.
What?
Anyways,
Don't explain.
They're not native to North America. Don't worry.
so are there any other sketchy books that anyone would like to look at?
Zoda's still keeping an eye out for anything that looks like a spell book.
Like,
Just like a spell scroll.
okay. Because I was gonna say there's the spell book in the D&D sense, which wizards would probably keep on their person. Otherwise, there's spell books in the Skyrim sense.
No, like I absolutely meant like the first sense. They probably won't be keeping the library. It doesn't hurt to check. Otherwise, like spell scrolls, even though she did already go through the scroll pile.
Yeah, I mean, best one you can find is that one that will summon the Garistro. This man.
Yeah. After finishing her search, she's just like, well, shit.
It's almost like these people were warlocks and not wizards.
Man, that's not possible.
Speaking of warlocks, what does the Pact Magic book say?
It's mostly going into some of the different sorts of entities that one could potentially make a pact with. Talks a little bit about Archfey, talks a little bit about fiends, talks a little bit about celestials, undead, talks a little bit about creatures from beyond time and space.
Is there any mention of a Void Queen?
There is not.
I figured as much. And also kind of in the books they're talking about Archfey. Is there anything listy?
Roll investigation check.
Oh, that's 16.
It talks a little bit about the seasonal courts, somewhat in the abstract, but it does mention a Lord of Winter. Yes.
Okay, just go add the book to my collections.
Anyone else?
Oh yeah, Val totally would be getting in on the, grade school being PJs, reading books while lounging over the classroom vibe that's going on. But the question is, what would she be looking for right now?
I mean, you picked up a bunch of porn books in the other room.
I'm gonna first look for some stuff about celestial. Particularly, she's looking for celestial heritage, but she'll take anything celestial in nature at this point in time.
Okay.
Investigation check. Ha ha. 2.
2. What would be the funniest way to handle a 2? So you are able to find a book that you're examining it and you're like, yeah, this is gonna talk to me about the heavens and what this is about. This is talking about one of the very specific upper planes known as the beast lands. And so you get partway through this and you're reading through this book and finding information on on nature spirits and animals and stuff. And then you're like halfway through and you're like, is my dad a furry?
At which point, very loudly, thump, punk, and then Val kind of just shuffles up to Demir like an embarrassed kid. It's just like, can you help me find a book?
Yeah, sure.
I'm hoping to find something on celestials and preferably celestial heritage.
Alrighty, I'll give it a look. Let's see what I can find.
That's a 12.
Well, what specifically are you looking for in regards to celestial heritage?
Oh,
Well, preferably from the plane that my dad's from.
All right.
Basically
was
trying to
going-
find a book and go, that's me.
I was going to say, given that prompt, Demir is probably looking similarly towards the if there's a section on pacts, I assume there is a section on bloodlines, like sorcery, bloodlines, and that type of stuff. Looking that away.
So, looking at it, I mean, I'm going to use D&D language here, so your character can interpret this how you like. There are the different planes and different afterlives based upon closer related to one's alignment. And so if you were more, for example, chaotically inclined rather than lawful inclined, you would probably aim for one afterlife over another. When looking specifically for angels, you find descriptions of Elysium, heaven, and nirvana.
I am going to assume heaven, just looking at Valkyria.
That's where
Okay.
my dad works, right? I would know what plane he works on, right?
Probably,
Okay, then.
but you didn't roll well.
Well, no, I can't find shit, but
Mhm.
I know what plane he works on. So while I'm embarrassingly asking Demir for
so-
help, I could clarify which plane.
So that would be heaven.
Thank you.
In the heaven book.
All right, looking at heaven, it talks about the different gods that are associated with it. It's described within as order tempered with compassion and goodness. And then there are the different regions which different gods look over.
Is that interesting to you, Bob?
Yes, but nothing on Azamars from that region.
Not really. Demian's mostly looking at like pacts and pact.
No, I was
information.
looking at like bloodline stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing specific about Azamar heritage from heaven specifically. But you guys are able to find a book talking about various Azamar physiologies and how they can widely vary depending on the type of celestial sire, in addition to various other aspects such as the purity of soul of the Azamar in question, and the people around them.
Perfect. So Valk pores over that book.
Okay. Are you looking for anything in specific?
I'll message you in
Okay.
Discord about it later.
Cool. Anyone else?
Samir will look over to Zoda, Tobias, and Lish like, do any of you need some help researching?
I already searched and they don't have what I'm looking for.
I'm all right.
Lish seems a little caught up in what he's doing.
Zoda will like sort of like approach and be like, do you want some help or do you have this?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, and I'm really just looking for something to do.
There's plenty of things to read here.
Nothing I'm particularly interested in though.
A book. A library filled with thousands of books and nothing to intrigue you. That does seem a bit wizardy.
Zoda just like visibly rolls her eyes, not even just like trying to hide it.
Can nothing entertain your mind any longer?
Please, I'm not that caught up in my own brain.
A wizard's boredom is much like anyone else's idle hands. Perhaps you should fill them with something that entertains you, lest we all get caught up in something.
Is Lish propositioning Zoda?
How is it that is what that sounds like to you?
Yeah, you need to use your hands for something to distract yourself.
A book. Lest your wizard hubris
She
gets the better of
goes.
you.
She goes from eye rolling to a straight like frown, like eyebrows furl. She's like, you know what? Forget I even asked, and just like walks off.
Lish like has not taken his eyes off of what he's doing.
Tobias watches that exchange and says to Lish, or approaches Lish and says, "That wasn't very kind."
And what would you have me do?
You treat her with respect, with the same kindness that you do with the rest of us. She may be a wizard, but that doesn't make her a bad person.
I never said it did. Only that she should entertain herself with all of the knowledge that is around here. She shouldn't be bored by it.
Perhaps, but I don't believe the side comments were necessary.
Maybe not. But I am entitled to my opinions, am I not?
You are, but I believe I'm also entitled to let you know when they're wrong. And Tobias actually looks nervous when he says that.
Well, would you like to join me, Tobias? Have you seen all the stars?
I haven't, no. If you'd be willing, I'd like you to show me.
Lish kind of scoots over in his chair and pulls up the constellations.
Tobias will look at the stars with Lish.
Tobias, you do have some knowledge of the stars given your time out in the wild. You're able to recognize some of the different stars in the constellations, I should say. You're able to recognize the constellation of the Phoenix, and there's a constellation of the lovers, and you can choose to point these out to Lish if you like, but it's a nice time.
Tobias will point some of the constellations out, or at least the ones that he recognizes and what he remembers being told about them and stuff, to see if it's different than what Lish learned, or like how Lish knows them.
The constellations are different in the Feywilds.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, like, do we have the same skies? I don't think so.
No.
I don't know how this shit works in D&D, but Tobias will point out the ones that he knows and stuff from the material plane and things to Lish.
Yeah, and Lish just kind of listens quietly to any of the stories. And if it's possible for him to turn into the plains section and kind of see what he can see of the Feywild skies, even if it's blurry, just kind of pick out some stars and kind of tell his own stories of creatures that he knew or did not know that reside there now.
All right. The boys are bonding. Anyone else?
Demir might go over to wherever Zoda stalked off to.
Probably just a corner of the library. Not only would she not leave the room, she literally can't. So
Yeah, so Demir will find her corner and offer her a piece of bread. Just
a little stale, but
It's better than hardtack. She'll take it.
for the record, I don't also really understand his thing with wizards. So
I'd love to ask, but I think that'd just get even more stereotypes thrown my way.
I mean, I guess I can sort of understand it when you are when you live in a place where there are magical creatures, and magical creatures are also for spell components. Kind of looking over towards the magical beasts section of the library.
That's one part of wizardry I never liked. Not only is it frankly gross, did you know that Fireball has bat shit as a component?
That is so gross.
It's extremely gross. Not only is it gross, but I don't like the thought of prying open an animal just to see what kind of power you can get from it. That doesn't sit right with me. Not a being with intelligence comparable to anyone else, especially. Pixie wings, demon horns, etc.
I mean, I don't know anything about it.
I never really delved into that area of study myself. I just use this, and she fishes out the necklace that she's been wrapping around her hand.
What is it?
It's my father's. It is an arcane focus. Some wizards prefer to use them instead of the tried and true material pouch. Most do, honestly. It's just easier. By channeling magical energy through this instead, you can substitute most anything that doesn't require more than a fair bit of coin.
Interesting. It was your father.
Yeah,
Was he also a wizard?
he was actually.
I suppose the was is perhaps relevant here.
Sort of just like grimly nods. He was a croner just before I was. And one day he just disappeared.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
Did he leave or?
I'm not really sure. He didn't have. He was a happy man. He didn't leave any notes or anything. He just disappeared. The only place I think he could have gone is just another plane entirely, but I'm not even sure where.
Have you tried spying on him?
I haven't learned that in my own searching. The funny thing about being a wizard is that the only way you can learn is through plagiarism. You don't get messages from the gods like clerics and the rest do, or instinct pulling at the back of your mind. You have to find other people's notes and copy them down. If you don't make your own notes yourself, which, usually results in expenditure of batshit and pixie wings.
I'd always taken wizardry to be pursuit of the upper classes for that sort of reason.
In some cases, it kind of is. They definitely don't make the book materials cheap.
Do you want me to try? I have tried.
Do you think you could find him?
I could give it a shot. Although, I don't even know if it'll work in this building.
Well, if we're in some, well, whether this is some kind of pocket plane with the rest of the tower or not.
Yeah, I can't look across planes.
He's probably not on this one, but if you really want to try.
If you want me to. I do it 3 times a day, so anytime you are curious.
Maybe when we're
So
back
it
on the
might just
material.
open up more questions.
Maybe when we're back on the material plane. You might have a better chance then if you can't see across planar boundaries.
Well, you have helped us a lot, so I suppose this is the least we can do is use one of my 3 a day.
She sort of smiles a bit at that, like, I appreciate hearing that more than you probably know.
Rest up.
Yeah, I'll be
Bell
able to
tomorrow.
prepare some. I'll be able to prepare something more useful tomorrow too. Maybe even show you another trick or two. There's one I sort of keep up my sleeve.
I'll certainly be interested. I don't know much about magic or magical pursuits, truthfully. This is gestures to her tattoo. This is a little beyond my ken.
Well, I'd be glad to tell you a thing or two if you're ever asked.
Perhaps. And Demir will leave Zoda to it.
Thanks for the bread again.
Anytime.
She'll actually just sort of snack on it.
She'll go over to where Lish is sitting, where Lish and Toby are sitting. Gonna sit herself down, leaning against them.
Pull up a chair.
Just kind of like, she's not going to pull up a chair. She's going to sit herself across the 2 of them. Why pull up a chair when you have 2 perfectly good ones right there?
That's fair. This chair is getting awfully full of people.
Actually, it's around this time, Demir, that you hear the voice of Barhassa in your head.
Oh,
Hello, I hope you're doing well. A young woman has arrived at the archives looking for you.
is Pasha?
Takes another moment for another spell to be cast.
Ah.
And Varhasa says, based upon your description, I believe so. She introduced herself as Tiriana.
Oh, that is that's lovely. We are in the Turning Spire right now. I do not know when we will be back. Sorry.
Tell them to come to the house.
Oh, we should tell her where the
You're
house
in the
was.
Turning
though.
Spire, you're shit out of luck. Bye.
We're at the Turning Spire. Levy's at the tragedy house. Go see her.
You're already done.
I'm talking to air at this point. Look, my understanding of of long distance communication is that 10-minute scry spell. So Demir has no fucking clue what she's doing.
Lish and Tobias, you just see Demir just talking out loud to herself.
Lish is like, tell her to stay at the. No, okay.
Yeah,
Perhaps you should scry, my dear. Complete your message.
yeah. I will get my scrying ball out and try scrying on Varhasa.
So you're on a different plane right now.
Oh shit. Yeah, it's scry's not working. That was Varhasa. She said that Tasha is at the archives. The scary clown lady.
Do we have any way to message her back?
I don't. Valkyria?
Out of spells.
Okay.
Very obviously has been listening in the entire time.
Then no. I guess we'll have to reach out tomorrow.
And just a thumb shoots up.
Yeah. Oops. We did do that, didn't we? Huh. Oh, Vanhasa was the one who was interested in interviewing Tasha anyway. So I'm sure she can figure it out herself.
I will admit I am quite curious myself.
Me too.
If only just to say, what the fuck?
I'm sorry that happened to you.
I don't know if I should apologize for mauling her face.
I think that
I
she should
think it was
apologize to
justified.
us for almost trying to eat us.
She was possessed by a demon. So at the very least, I feel like that does give her a bit of an excuse.
So our excuses also, she was possessed by a demon.
Exactly.
All fair in love and demons.
I think I told Varhasa
Oh, I love
where
that
we're
book.
at. So I guess if Varhasa is not sending a bunch of get out of there right now messages, I think we're okay.
Yes, I should probably start my meditations. The sooner that I can recover spells, the better we can get out of here.
Do you want me to Demir offers the her hand for the map that he was drawing.
If you'd like. He shows it to you, and it's, probably not half bad, but maybe a little chicken scratchy.
I mean, if it needs more filling in, Demir will do that while Lish is meditating.
This is Zoda's chance to get in on this map making.
Right.
Sorry, I've been sidelined by my character sheet asking me to log in again.
Oh no!
Just, excuse me? That's not her sheet. What's this about Zoda helping with the map?
While Lish
Here's
is
your-
taking his little nappy nap for 4 hours, Demir is working on his map.
Ah.
All right.
If
Is
you
there
wanted
anything anyone else would like to accomplish this evening?
Demir is going to do a little baking before she goes to bed, but that's it.
All right.
Gonna make a little, at least prep a little bread. And there's nowhere
Yes.
in the library to set a fire, so we're not gonna do
Instead of
that
an
in the
Orno.
library.
My little portable Orno to set up in here.
I mean, you can set things on fire if you want. It would just be kind of a hassle to get out before you go the way of Caleb's parents.
Yeah, no, we're good with that. I'm not burning down the library.
Is there not a
But-
fireplace?
No,
In the library.
on here.
Do we really want to start a book burning inside a closed room?
Well, is there just out of curiosity, is there like a little, like there looks to be like a little porch out here? Is that
Uh,
or those doorways we cannot pass?
that is the door that you came from.
Ah, okay. Then
You
never
don't
mind.
know what is beyond this door.
Okay. Never mind then. I'm not setting a fire in the library, but I'm prepping food during my long rest.
Okay.
You mentioned that because we're on a different plane, would Tobias's sending stone work?
To your knowledge, yes.
Tobias will send a message to his dad saying, we're in the Turning Tower resting for tonight.
All right. You get a quick message back from Alcy. You've traveled far. Make sure that you stay safe and rest well.
Yeah, his dad heard him.
All right. So with that, the night passes uneventfully. You're all able to get rest and regain your spell slots. Any hit points that you may have had when hitting jewelry cases and flying backwards across the room. Not to name any names. But yeah, you guys are good to go now.
Shall we head through the big doors?
What
else
Hold
is
out
there to
his
do?
hand for. Let's hold out his hand for dispel. Everybody's scattered to the four corners of this library. Are you coming with me or not?
So, knowing what's map and what's actually map, there's 3 doors, the 2 side doors and the one on the end, or the side door is not actually a thing.
This is the one that you came from. You don't know where this one leads. And then there's the doors over here.
So I thought you were going from the west to the top left corner door, not the bottom one.
We're going to the bottom, the big
Got it.
ones.
Well, I'm good for the big one first, but I'm just
Sure.
clarifying that there are east and west doors.
Right. The big door is the one that Aaron and who else checked for
These
traps,
ones aren't
right?
real.
Oh, okay. Well, if you
Yeah,
want to
they
lead the
got
way,
this.
Lish, you're welcome to lead the way.
This is the correct door, right? That everybody checked for traps, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So Lish will cast his dispel as he opens it up and
All right. Roll an Arcana check.
15.
15. All right. That's good enough. So, as you open the door, you are all briefly met with a flash of that same vision that Erin had before, of entering in an office or working space with a man in a cloak with his back to you. And as you enter this space, that image that you saw before you crumbles and shatters. And there's a roar of magical energy.
Oh no. What the fuck is that?
Oh
Hello?
no.
I think we found the Indefinites office.
Oh man, this is
Yeah, probably.
Ooh, Aaron's
This is not looking great.
chatting all morning. He fell asleep last night, like knees up to chin, drooling on his book. And ever since getting up, he's been just talking to, around like, oh, and did you know that you can enthrall people? And did you know that after friends, like, they realize something happens to you? And the second the door opens, he just goes silent, cut off in the middle of a sentence.
Tobias, who is listening to Aaron talk excitedly about all the different spells he learned, also, like, they both just look at the door. Tobias just pales a little and he just goes, oh, what the fuck?
What the fuck, Richard?
Can I do an Arcana check and see what I think this thing is?
Roll an Arcana check.
I will assist.
Who's
Advantage.
got better
this time.
Arcana? I got a plus
Good
5.
question. 8.
Okay, you should do it. I help you.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's roll 2d20 then. Wow. Hey, Avery, the dice maker, your hawk dice love to roll the same numbers today. That's
Yay.
I get to choose between 18 and 18 on the die. Plus 8, that's 26.
This seems to be a portal of some sort. You know that the portals to the different planes they look in a specific way. This one is unfamiliar to you.
Okay, so that's probably the biggest portal I've ever seen, and I do not recognize it from any book I've read ever. I would advise against touching it.
I would like to divine sense. Is it evil?
No.
Well, it's not going to one of the evil planes.
Still, it'd be better to not accidentally fall in with possibly without any way out.
You notice that this room, the floor is jagged and broken. There's the remains of a desk closer to the edge of the portal. And then there is a broken, jagged piece of masonry sticking out above the portal like a diving board.
Can I can I go over to the desk without getting close to the portal?
No.
Right next to it.
Does it say to
Where's a
have, like,
familiar when you need one?
I have a familiar.
Oh yes, then Bright Mellow.
My boy. Is this portal having like a sucking thing, or is it just there? Is there like a wind or a sucking or a feeling of compelling?
Hard to tell from where you are.
I
No,
take
it's just
the
a
DM. I shake.
It's a completely normal ominous portal.
Well, there's a way we could find out. Anyone got spare paper?
Lish can take a piece of his notebook paper out, kind of wad it up into a ball.
Roll a strength check.
4.
It lands like right here.
Well, it didn't fly in, so
Valk I'm assuming there's a bit of rubble that could be picked up.
A little bit closer, yeah. There's all of this jagged, broken stuff over here, but you're standing very close to the door right now.
I think perhaps
All right.
this should be something we investigate last.
I'm sort of thinking the same. It seems like a point of no return.
While they're talking about that, Val kind of picks up a small piece of rubble, kind of eyeballing it, and just goes, yeet.
All right. Roll a strength check.
No proficiency or just strength?
Just strength.
19.
All right. You're able to send it sailing, lands like here-ish. It does not go flying into the portal, but you still threw it pretty far. You're feeling pretty good about that.
Well, it would appear there's no additional suction, so if we wanted to investigate the desk, but I'm in agreement that the portal is definitely a later problem.
Let's at least check the desk before we double back. Maybe if this is the indefinite study and he made this, possibly with Mistress Power, maybe there's notes on it on the desk, unless he took them with him.
Well, who wants to go check?
Well, I'll do
Oh,
it.
I can. I do have some like ability to get back very quickly if needed.
If the portal doesn't suck, and we've found that it doesn't suck, the pixies can. Lish will cast Familiar on Bright Mellow, and he'll send Bright Mellow.
All right.
That actually seems like a good A team, so it'll stay back.
Bright Mellow very hesitantly flutters over to the desk. Would you like to roll an investigation check for Bright Mellow?
Yeah, let me look up his stats. Well, I mean, since I can see through his eyes.
That's a good question, actually. If Lish is using Bright Mellow's sight, would he still use Bright Mellow's stats for a visual check?
You're just putting your eyeballs in someone else.
That's
someone
fair.
else is looking.
But it's not vision per se. Perception isn't how well you can see.
Yeah, this is investigation because Bright Mellow is rifling through a desk.
So Bright Mellow does investigation and Lish does perception.
DM's
Okay.
call, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to say about it. Use for investigation. Say int. Okay.
Welcome home.
$17.
17. Bright Mellow is able to find, there's honestly not much in the desk. There's an empty ink pot, and it looks like it's been mostly cleared out. However, in one of the drawers, Bright Mellow is able to find a small silvery bracelet.
Can you pick it up?
All right. It has a few runes etched onto it.
Yeah, can you bring it over?
Yeah, he brings it over. And Demir, you can see that this bracelet is it carries an aura of abjuration magic.
It's magical.
Can I cast Identify on it?
Sure. Do you take a minute?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Do we want to take our minute back through the door so we don't have to cast another dispel?
Sure.
Just for my own curiosity, I assume this like whole fucking room is lit the fuck up with magic, right?
Oh yes.
And I like it's there's nothing like that I wouldn't expect to see for a portal. Right.
Yeah, it's very much conjuration happening.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
There's also some transmutation on the ground where it seems to be broken.
Yeah, I think this is probably where he did his things, so maybe let's come back to it.
Definitely, let's come back to it in case we can't just come back. You should probably have a complete escape as well. I'm not sure if Dimensional Door would only work for me and one other person, and I'm not even sure if Magic Circle can connect back to the material plane from here.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of this room.
I would like to say this portal is the same vibes as the spinning orb of death from Vox Machina. So.
Oh, great. Yeah.
So it is very much some end game stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is, and just from the name alone, I can tell that the vibes are rancid.
So you go back to the war room, to the library.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the library.
All right.
So mark that on our map.
Death. Skull and crossbones.
Lish will find a thing to lean his hip against as he casts Identify on this thing.
Thank you for labeling it as you did.
Hang on, I need to use a different text
portal
color.
room.
I need to use a different text color. Let's see.
You cast
Hey, there we go.
Identify on it, and this bracelet creates a limited dispel, allowing the wearer and people with the wearer to
Hey,
move from room to room
well, that'll make
without
things
Called
easier.
it.
impede.
You go.
The backwards lock key. Well, this will make things a lot easier.
Oh? How so? I don't know if you actually shared the description of the thing with everybody.
Blah, 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 blah.
Okay. Oh, great. You guys should definitely keep that in case you come back later.
Does
Because
it require attunement, or it's just
No, you just wear it.
Lish will just fasten it to his wrist? Easy does it. All right, success.
no more wasted spell slots. Huzzah.
Huzzah.
No more fucking up arcane checks and really wasting spell slots.
Yeah, I can only
Let's-
coax the timelines so many times after all.
Let us go back to the main room and
Or did we want to check that other door first? She points to the one up to the
sure.
left.
Yeah, let's see if
We'll
it just
trot over.
is the same door but is pretty with
This
two
one?
doors.
The one on the top left of the map, yeah.
All
The
right.
one we didn't come in through.
You head through, and you're led to a small hallway with 3 branches, kind of like a chicken foot.
3 wizards, 3 studies, perhaps.
Probably. Are there any identifying marks on the doors, or are they just doors?
They are branches in the hallway.
Right. No signposts or anything?
Nope.
Let's go one at a time. I
Well,
will pick the far right one.
Far
right is right.
All right. So at the end of this hall, there is a doorway. This one has a sheath of wheat crossed with a wand in front of a star.
Hey, we found the bedrooms and / or studies.
That's the mark of the
Yeah.
hospitable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lish will push open the door.
This is a dedicated trancing room. There's a couple of options for trancing within, including a trancing chair, a mat, and a bed. There's also a vanity off to the side. It just this room looks like it hasn't been touched in quite a while, though.
Anything fancy in it? Jewelry, clothes.
Magic.
Roll an investigation check.
All right.
I'll help you with that, Demir, if you want advantage.
Yeah, I'll take it. I rolled the same thing twice. That's a 15.
We're cursed today, but in a great way.
You're able to find a small table with a couple of those same things that look like healing potions, but it looks like they were put away and kind of just ditched there. But they look the same as the potions that Valk found in the other room.
Take them.
So what's our new number of weird ass potions?
Well, Valk, you had 3, or 7. Demir, you have 3.
Awesome. 3 health potions. Question mark, question mark, question mark. All right.
Ooh. Can I see one of those potions? Because Zoda also has Identify. She actually prepped it today.
I will give you one of them.
All right. Let's I'll spend a minute while we walk figuring out what exactly this is.
All right.
Anything else you want to grab in the room? Maybe Lish wants to nick the hospitable's trancing mat.
Lush will kind of look it over. Is it special in any way?
What are you looking at?
Matt?
Trancing mat.
No, it's just a mat for trancing. It's
Is it
Comfy.
fancy?
akin to real world equivalent of a prayer mat.
Oh, I was under the impression that it had like something similar to the sigil in the sitting room.
Nope.
Okay.
Just a comfy sitting place for 4 hours of trance.
Mm-hmm.
And he's probably got a bedroll already, so.
Lush doesn't need it.
He's a forest boy. He's used to sitting on just dirt.
He just makes a layer of snow to sit on.
That actually
Okay.
sounds a lot better.
To the next room. Middle room?
Let's try the middle one.
All right. Middle one. It has 3 stars all connected on the door.
It's the ladies' room.
Mm-hmm.
Open.
Similar setup as the previous one, although her room is a little larger given that she was the leader. She also had a reading desk. The book on there is more of like a sappy romance. But there's a little arcane lamp with a globule kind of shining on the table.
It's at this point that Zoda sort of just like furrows her brow in a mixture of intrigue and disgust. Oh, you guys know how the Hospitable was trying to make healing potions more accessible to the common person?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he quite succeeded because these things heal you and then take a little more away later.
That's not great.
So they're
That's a bit of a-
temporary buffs.
In a sense, I think he might have been trying to, like, I don't know, maybe found these. He was trying to purify them. It's like hints of necrotic energy in it.
Maybe it's a business venture, you know, make them feel good and then they feel bad later, so they come back to you to buy more potions.
I would hope that the Hospitable isn't that greedy.
What kind of takeaway are we talking? Are we talking permanent damage, or are we just
Like,
talking like it heals you and then you lose the healing later?
Like, you drink it, you feel better, and then a little bit later you feel worse. I'll put the little snip that the DM sent me in the loot chat.
Well, could be useful, I suppose.
Useful in a
If we
pinch,
need
sure,
to-
but useful in a pinch, but
if we need to
definitely
poison someone.
maybe. Specifically, you heal, and then 1 minute later you take damage.
Okay, so
Approximately 25% more damage than you healed on average.
you get basically 10 rounds of temporary.
Yeah.
And then you take it up the ass later.
Like Zoda said, handy in a pinch, but probably not the best thing to be drinking.
I'm sure we can find a use for it somehow.
Maybe you could pick up where he left off and find a way to purify it.
Or something like that.
Could be a fun project. I bet I'd be able to find someone back at the college who'd love to pick up where he left off.
If that is what interests you, you can certainly take one of them.
Or about what would interest someone else. I'll bring up that they're a thing. Maybe I'll take a couple with me when we when/if we part ways. Up to you guys. Finders keepers and all that.
Well, anything else in here then?
Yeah, does she have a wardrobe?
Gotta get Erin some more clothes. And Demir.
You know what? Sure, she does have a wardrobe.
Yes.
Anything good in it?
She's got some like pretty sexy stuff going on. Like not like sexy like lingerie, but like damn, I'd wear that kind of vibes.
Damn. This Archmage got a sense of fashion.
Let's see. There's one robe that's sort of like a dusky purpley gray, and it's long and flowing, and then has like a little silver mantle on the shoulders. It's really nice. I actually can probably find a picture of the thing I'm thinking of because I'm basing it off of a real thing. I'll find it later, but you know.
Yeah. I think between Aaron and Demir, we're raiding her closet of all the clothes.
All
Yeah,
right.
Aaron's just gonna shoot a look Demir's way and go and say, halvesies?
Have these.
And yeah, Aaron do it.
Yeah. we are stealing clothes from a dead woman.
All right.
Honorable
room?
D&D profession.
Hey, we've been stealing from dead people the entire time we've been in here, so.
Look, the
Or the-
difference between grave robbing and archaeology is really just a matter of arbitrary time. So, and
I
time
think
is
it's more of a
pretty
matter of
fucky-wucky.
European.
Oh no, we're not grave robbing. We're appropriating for the good of saving all of reality. There's a difference.
Listen, if they want it back, they can ask for it.
Yeah, when I raise them again.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we've got one more hallway, and by order from elimination, that should be the study that we were told about. If it wasn't the giant portal room.
Well, no, it would be the
bedroom.
bedroom of the indefinite.
True, actually. I mean, it might still have something useful in it.
Well,
Or just nothing.
Let's take a look.
let's see what's fucked
Yeah,
up about
let's-
this guy.
It's another massive portal room.
Oh my god.
So
There's not even a
portals
room anymore, it's
everywhere.
all portal.
So this room, the door has an eye with a single star and the pupil.
Malk just kind of flips off the eye as she walks past when we enter the room.
You're the reason we're in this mess.
All right. You head in. Nothing out of the ordinary. Same sort of setup as the hospital had.
So I'm just gonna start scrounging around for any notes or anything. Just out of curiosity, off chance.
Yeah, Lisha's helping with that.
Roll an investigation check.
Alrighty. And you're helping, you said?
Yarp.
All right, let's see if I roll the same number twice again. Hey, no, we didn't. That is a 31.
31. The room is oddly sparse. You don't really know what the deal is with it, but there's not as much as you'd think there should be in here.
No magical auras or
No. I mean, nothing beyond the stuff that you're already aware of from being in the tower.
She makes that known and just sort of adds like, I know this is supposed to be like his bedroom, but there's a strange, like, further absence of stuff. So either he took a bunch of things with him or he destroyed it.
is there if I look under the bed, is there anything like, has he stashed coin? Has he stashed anything away as like a safekeeping?
No, it's kind of weird. It's like he packed up before he left.
I was
Demir, is there
literally
any,
about to say, even without your description, just like, guess he packed up for his trip across history or something.
Demir, is there any magical illusory magic over this?
No, nothing.
Hmm.
I mean, what he did was premeditated, so
Well, we still got what, 2 or 3 doors left to go through back at the central chamber.
Yeah.
Zoda, I'd love for you to make an Arcana check for me.
Uh-oh,
We're in danger.
that's a 10.
With advantage because
Oh,
you're
let's see
a
if I get.
wizard.
Well, let's see if I get higher than a 10 then. I do. That is a 22.
You get the impression the way that this tower is constructed is that there are different rooms that can be accessed at different times. Like there's a finite number of doors in the main room, but if the wizards or the archmages or whoever needs to find a different part of the tower, they can sort of call one of the rooms to them. So you might not be seeing everything, but that's probably by design.
She sort of just like goes, wait a minute, and then she just like relays all that. Sort of like, it's kind of similar to one of the exercises in this like one-off wizard tower construction class. So we could be here forever if we really wanted to just keep searching. But I don't know. Since we have that bracelet, maybe it's worth looking through anything else. Seems like we got what we came here for, though.
Well, we're still hoping to find the labs, since there might be more stuff there. And if there is an armory, that would be worth checking as well.
I'd be curious to see if the labs of the other two wizards, specifically, because it's clear that the Indefinite was planning this, and so he packed up all his shit and then left. I'm curious to see if there was either like notes left behind by the other two that clearly were not, a part of this. If they, like, either a diary entry or something, or a journal mentioning odd behavior. Like if he really kept this fully under lock and key and no one knew about it, or if there were signs that he was planning this from the beginning.
Maybe this is something you could ask Gilmadea about. Maybe she'd even be able to tell us how to determine where we're going, since we have Idern's key now.
if they had any diaries, that might also be useful. I mean, obviously he did this without the other two's knowledge, but surely he expressed something.
Maybe. I'm not sure if the clues leading up to his betrayal would be as much use to us, though. Since,
It's
already
I was
happened.
thinking more of potentially him showing an interest into a subject or something, which could give us a clue as to how he managed to do this in the first place.
That's smart, actually. If we know how he did all this, then maybe we could find a way to reverse it.
Tobias looks a little flustered at being told smart.
Remember, the spell makes it so I can't talk to them for 10 days. So if we're talking to Alma Diaz, she's offline for 10 days and we're still waiting 9, 8 for the hospitable.
That's not how long we were searching, I suppose. That was on character. Well, I think it'd be better to ask our questions while they're fresh on our mind. I'm not sure if we need her for 10 days after we leave the Spire.
I think maybe we should try and find their offices and then ask questions.
We should probably wander through at least a couple other doors off of the main circle, and then we can ask for
Yes.
specifics.
We need to finish those.
Since we don't have to worry about spell slots anymore, we could also start by checking a room we've already been in and see if they've shifted yet.
I think as we are discussing this, Lish is going to kind of urge us to walk and talk and head back to the main room.
Totally
Yeah.
fair.
Walking,
Alright.
talking.
Let me put you back in the throne room. All right. Where would you like to go?
I forgot just how much blood there was.
So much blood.
It's almost like a couple people were murdered in this room.
What?
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
Okay, formal greeting room. Which room was the library? The one that we're by right now?
Yep.
Yep, that was the one. I can
She'll
I
come
can get
down
marking it.
here.
Let's see. There's an actual text tool, by the way, if you want to use
Yeah,
that
but it's
instead.
tiny.
That's fair.
Also, we can do all our stupid little doodles this way.
That's true. I do prefer the
And
doodles. I just couldn't.
see, this way I can make a joke about the libs.
Yeah.
And they were really owned by the Archmages. All right.
Well, what's through that door?
Well, I guess Lish
And
is
Lish
finding
is
out
done.
because he just moved off the map.
I think you just straight up deleted yourself.
he straight up just moved off the map. Yeah.
All right, you walk into that room and you find something of a dining hall. There's a large table. The table itself is set, but it does not have any food upon it. It looks like it's a room that is used for like political discussions and stuff like that. So over dinner, that sort of fancy vibe.
Dinner party.
Okay. And we already know where the kitchen is. So we got one last door to try, and then I guess we'll have to talk to Elma Diaz to figure out how to call specific rooms.
Remind me, is there a door behind the thrones?
There was in the plane of dreams, but there's not in reality.
Got it.
All right, Lish, you step through that one and you find another study sort of office area. This one is grander than the other one down here, but it's quite beautiful. Lots of administrative work. Looks like there's an extra cabinet full of inks and pens and quills. This is probably the Ilmadia the Enlightened's office. There's a lovely stained glass window behind the desk as well.
Are there any papers, any books, any writing, any personal notes?
Well, investigation check.
Right?
Have
That
advantage.
Ooh.
That's cocked. That is a I'm sorry, an 18.
In 18, you find an old leather journal in one of the lower drawers of the desk. It's in Elvish, but it seems to be encoded.
Jackpot. I'm taking this. Anything else? Any letters?
There's quite a few letters, but they seem to be more, as I said, administrative and in quality. Nothing personal.
Any no like they're administrative, but only for the Turning Spire, not.
Yeah, they're talking about like shipments of such and such material throughout the country of Island. Interestingly enough, like while looking through this stuff, there doesn't really seem to be mentions of any banditry that you would associate with Island at this point. It's almost as if these things began after their deaths.
That's weird. Is there on the slight off chance, is there any mention of like magical stones or like raw material like that?
I would love for another investigation check.
Oh, not as good. Oops, sorry. Hold on. That's a 14.
14, you're not able to find anything about any magical stones. However, there is mention of, well, reports, shall we say, of, how best to describe this. There are reports of witches in the woods closer to Leodori. And the Ilmadia the Enlightened advised people to leave them be.
Okay, interesting. Is that name sounds familiar to me, but is that like a place that exists in our current world?
Leodori is the southernmost city of Island.
Okay. Cool. I'll tuck that away. Why not?
Here, let me just grab this corner of the map for you for reference.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, that is why it sounded familiar. It was on the map. All right, I will grab those things. Nothing magical, everything else is mundane.
Yeah,
Or
pretty
what
much.
I would expect. Okay. Cool.
Like there's a pen that's enchanted to have everlasting ink but you know,
I mean,
Ooh.
nothing
Tobias
thrilling.
would like to take that.
yeah,
Well-
honestly.
You can say magic ink pen in your inventory.
Infinite pen, infinite pen.
We are looting the fuck out of this wizard's tower, okay? Like every single fucking thing that's not nailed down is coming.
Like I said, if they want it back, they can ask.
All right.
And it's just got like paintings stuck down the back of his shirt.
Come to think of it, the hospital did sort of just like low key give us leave to take stuff that would help. So
What he doesn't know won't hurt him.
Is that the
All
last
right.
of the doorways then?
Yep.
for this cycle, at least.
When
So
does
that
the
leaves
cycle reset? Do we know?
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
The turning of the full moon. We
Could
don't
be.
have a
Who
future
knows?
anymore.
I wonder if you go through a doorway with a specific intention of a room, if that'll make it happen.
We could give it a shot.
That's probably worth a try.
We'll go out and come back in thinking blah 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 blah.
You return to the same office.
Did we miss a doorway?
I don't think we did, unless the entrance somehow changed. I hope it hasn't.
Maybe they had to do something like
That's sort of what I'm thinking. Maybe they had a separate spell or magic item to specify where they wanted to go.
Lucia's gonna go up to where in the dreaming there was a doorway behind the throne. Just do like a quick investigation.
All right, roll investigation.
Arcana or whatever. Yeah, let's see. Ha! 3.
You're feeling pretty confident that there's no door here, but you know, we rolled 3, so you're not 100%.
Well,
So I was having a think. Before we wake up the hospitable or Almadeus, I can't remember names today.
The Enlightened.
The Enlightened, thank you. Should we perhaps wake her in the portal room in case if she's able to identify it?
Can the dead really pay attention to what's around them?
She wouldn't know anything she did in life. You probably don't even need to be in the portal room to ask her if the indefinite even told her.
Well, she would have knowledge about portals. Can't learn new information, doesn't comprehend death, and can't speculate about future events. So can't learn the new information about looking at the portal and can't realize what the portal is. Never mind. I don't know my own spell.
I mean,
unless the
she'd be
portal
able to
existed
identify if
before
she's seen it
death.
before, yeah.
But that
think-
requires her having seen it before.
Well, we don't know if she has or has not seen it.
Definitely
suppose
seems
it-
newer, but
Unless if we can come up with other better questions, I think that would be a good question to ask of her.
there's that. There's how they specified which room they wanted to go to. You have
So we can
5,
get
right?
to the library.
Yeah.
Yep, we have 5, or not library, laboratory. And yes, we
So
have
she-
5.
So you should think of at least 1 or 2 more before we consider asking Valkyria to expend her magic on that.
I'm not even so much worried about the magic. I'm worried about the fact that we won't be able to then talk to her for 10 days.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we should make it count.
Exactly.
I think perhaps more, I don't know, maybe she knows more about the indefinite
True.
in terms of what his motive, what his powers are.
I think we have his motive already. The Hospitable told us that he wanted to pluck the things from history that he wanted, as he said.
Well, yeah.
She's got like a little like note page.
Whatever
There's a-
that means.
That's a good question. Either he wanted to collect things without history, or he just wanted to stride through it freely. Either way, the price he's
Master
paying is
implied that
one.
there was something personal.
Whatever the reason behind it, that portal that they've made is definitely the thing that is causing these fracturing time periods.
Maybe it's like the portal in the grave. You just need to close it and that will stop everything.
I wonder if we pour 500 pounds of rocks into
Either way, it's probably easier said than done. If an archmage was made it, and it's that big, I can only imagine there's a bunch of magical energy in there. I don't think it'd be easy to close that, or even possible to close it without repercussions, perhaps.
perhaps
We
if
can
we
ask
have
Aldrich. No?
Uldric or Vahasa.
Maybe one of any of the college members or something like that. But someone would probably know how. They probably want to see it firsthand, though, and that's probably the harder part about it. That's all speculation, of course.
Well,
Either way, I'm getting the idea that we probably don't want to go through that. I don't want to go through that.
If we are not prepared, it could send us adrift in time and space.
Again.
Walking through that might be what is resetting our minds.
Could be.
Would explain the lack of corpses of us.
Yes, Demir, it would explain your lack of corpses.
I guess the question is now, are we all satisfied with the answers we have, or do we still need to find something other than the labs?
This place should be secured somehow.
I agree with that.
ask if there's a way to lock the tower.
It's probably a good idea, yeah.
Okay. So let me write down these questions. So question 1, lock tower. 2, access lab / alternate doors. We want to ask her about the indefinite, specifically what he was going for in history, ?
I'm sure that they
Yeah.
might have something about that, yeah.
At which point that leaves us
So, you know,
to
you'd want that to be phrased like, oh, you know, did he have any great historic interest?
Yeah.
That you're aware of?
So at which point that leaves 2 question slots open for if we have new questions. Okay. Give me the head.
Didn't you have the head?
It's in
They
the bag
get-
of holding.
stuck in the
They're
bag
in
of
the
holding.
bag.
Right.
I'm sorry, Valk. Would you mind repeating that statement?
I need the head. Give me some head.
Here now?
Oh, so forward of you.
So you hold the head, or do you put it down somewhere so it can answer the questions?
Since we're in the main area, I put it on her throne to be polite and let's ask some questions.
All right. You cast the spell, light the incense, and a dim light appears in the back of the eye sockets, and the jaw hangs open. And she waits.
Horrific.
Greetings. We are the Wild Roses, fighting the crimes of the indefinite. Is there a way to lock the Turning Spire? Or how do you lock the Turning Spire?
We tried to have this room open so that should citizens have any concerns, they would be able to approach. However, you may choose to put a ward on the doors at your leisure.
Valk looks at the wizard.
So it was just like,
Okay. We have investigated every door we have access to. How do we use a door to access the laboratory or other alternate rooms?
It is possible that with the deaths of our council, rooms are lost. They will change the cycles of the moon.
who called that again?
So that's a long time period to try to be able to find the laboratories and other items.
One night each, yeah.
Is that a question that you're
No.
asking the skull?
No, that was a statement at the
Statement.
rest of the party. The indefinite has broken the flow of time to acquire items strewn throughout history. What items would he be attempting to obtain?
It is not items that he would seek, but people he is lost. We have been the leaders of this country for a long time. My colleague outlived his wife, his children, his grandchildren. He's always been looking to the past rather than looking to the future.
It's at this point that Valk scribbles on a little piece of parchment. Any other ideas for questions?
Zoda's looking up from her own notes at this point. Just like,
We could ask if the map does anything further. Oh no, were we going to ask if they knew about the portal in the other room?
right.
Oh, if they're able to
Have you-
identify the portal.
Yes.
Maybe something like there is a portal in what we believe was the indefinite study. Do you know where it might lead?
There's a giant portal right off of the library. What is it and what does it do?
She might not know that it exists, so we would have
Well,
to
then we
ask
will
her to.
find out.
So we can.
And I think perhaps we should ask about who his family is. With all the time shit, we might actually be able to track them down.
In
That's
10
true.
days, we can ask him again as well, but we are here with the portal now.
At the very least, you might be able to track his path through history.
That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So, last two questions.
Is attempt to get an identification on the portal and
And an identification on who he's searching for.
and
Like a name,
list of family
preferably.
members.
Mhm.
Even with just one name will do, but like maybe just specifically ask, do you know the names of any of the indefinites kin?
The
The
names
problem-
and where they live or where they're from.
Mm-hmm. If we have names, we can find out where they were. I'm trying to figure out a way to word that as a single question because we only have 2 slots left and an identification on the portal is also important.
Where
Would
were the
asking
names
it
and
as-
locations?
Yeah, like wording it like that, where it's, do you know the names and locations of his family?
Okay. What are the names and locations of his favored lost family members?
His wife was called Devin. I do not know any longer the names of the children. She and her descendants were buried in what is now the farmland of the human nation. Centuries, millennia have passed. They are long gone.
Out of character, I would request hit the wife's actual name put down somewhere because I heard Dennis and that doesn't sound correct to me.
Delith, Delyth.
Thank you.
My spelling was close-ish. Okay, so question to the DM.
Mhm.
Can I literally take the head and point at something and go, what that?
Sure.
Okay. To the portal room.
All right.
Whee!
Let's see.
So
Ooh.
ooh, what's das?
I am uncertain. I have never seen this before.
And with that, the light dies in the skull's eye sockets.
So not even the lead lady is able to identify what type of portal it is. So that is terrifying.
Absolutely. Not in any book, not identifiable by any archmage, but the one that's missing.
Well,
What?
not identifiable in death.
True.
She might have been able to if she was alive.
Yeah.
There are spells for that, but they're a bit out of our league.
Okay, so the library or the labs might be gone since they were linked to the people. And even then, accessing specific doors is linked to time.
Cycle of the moon specifically. That's an important part. That means it's on a, I want to say 8-part loop.
Or potentially 28 individual.
Who knows? Either way, it's definitely something we or you or I will have to come back later for.
Is there anything on the portal that are identifiable? Markings, runes?
Anything on the what?
On the portal that is identifiable, like markings, runes, patterns?
No, it looks
anything?
like the room itself was once a very fine and comfortable room. It had broken apart, and below it is this portal. Should people choose to step into if they would like.
I think that might have to be a discussion for next time.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's tomorrow we plan.
All right. So that seems like as good a stopping point as any. Thank you so much for playing, guys.
This is awesome. It's great.
Thank you for coming.
We have so much stuff to work off of at this
Oh,
point.
yes.
God.
Scream.
Each answer to our question grew 2 more questions.
Huzzah!
Man, Hawk's gonna come back and be like, "What the fuck did you guys get up to? Oh my god!"
We're all dead.
Thank you guys for playing, and we'll
Thank
see you
you for
next
tuning in.
time.
All right.
Bye.